The three stages that control your energy, digestion, and detox, most people ignore number three. You could eat the cleanest diet in the world, but if you don't understand these stages, you're still gonna be feeling tired, low energy, bloated, and won't understand your weight management. Most people only focus on what they eat, but the healing happens after you eat, and that's what most people ignore. Three reasons to watch this to the end. I'm gonna show you why eating healthy might still be hurting your digestion. You'll learn the missing piece that actually controls detox and energy. And by the end, you're gonna have simple habits that you can apply on a daily basis to feel more lighter and energized. When I started my fitness journey, improving my nutrition, I thought that it was all about what you eat. Yes, exercise is something to do, is important, but we're talking about the consumption part. And I would still feel bloated, low energy, and energy crashes. So I wasn't fully sure what was going on because I was improving my diet, smoothies, salads, fruits, etc., etc. But then once I started putting into play the part of consumption, well, that's the first one, but elimination and digestion, which is the other two part, digestion and elimination, everything changed. My energy became more consistent, understanding weight management became more predictable, energy became more predictable, and overall, just like my physique, I began feeling healthier, and my skin started to clear out, so on and so forth. But it was once I dialed in all three, which most people ignore the last two. So phase number one, I'll go over it, is the consumption. And the first tip, I'm gonna give you two tips for each. The first tip is eating for simplicity. So you don't want to combine too many different ingredients, too many different foods at the same time, and especially bad combinations. So I'll give you an example. They use the story of a turtle and a hare, a turtle and a rabbit. So you eat, imagine the turtle being a banana, right? You eat a banana and then you drink water, right? That's a bad combination. Why? Because the rabbit, which is the water, is gonna get stuck behind the turtle, so it's gonna create that crash. That's where the bloating comes from. Why? Because you're doing improper food combinations and you're combining way too many things that don't digest at the same pace. So you have to consider, you want to eat the light stuff first and then the heavier things last so that it flows. You don't want to create congestion in your stomach. Number two is obviously slow down and chew your food, right? That is actually pre-digestion. When you chew your food, take your time. It could even be like a 30-minute, you sit down for 30 minutes and you're eating. Make it a family engagement thing. That could be a family bonding. You're slow bites, small bites, chew them up. That's called pre-digestion. So those two tips are, fundamentals when it comes to digestion in phase one. Now let's move on to phase number two, which is digestion. So next thing is you want to eat in a relaxed state, right? If you're like stressing, if you're like in between jobs, if you're like standing, or no, you want to relax, almost come into a state of total relaxation, right? Because this is a time where you're going to nourish yourself so that the stress doesn't shut down your body. When you're going through stress, all your mechanism, your digestive system, your and all the different mechanisms in your body are going to be in high alert, and you're not going to be able to digest the food properly. And also the thing is, the timing matters. I'll give you an example. You want to eat, your last meal should be maybe 3 to 4 hours before your bedtime, because if you don't, what you eat, the energy, because remember, food has energy, is going to interrupt your food habit. So for example, let's say you're about to go to sleep at 8 p.m. and you eat at 7:30. Well, that food you just ate is going to give you a boost of energy, which is going to prevent you from sleeping properly. So for example, when should you eat a heavier uh, meal, right? Let's say you're gonna eat a fruit smoothie or drink a fruit smoothie. Drink it maybe 30 to 60 minutes before a workout, right? Because now you're gonna have that boost of energy that you're gonna be able to throw at the workout, right? And then the workout is actually gonna help you with the digestion. That's one thing you should memorize. Eat, move, and rest in that order. So you eat, then you move, right? And that's gonna help you with the digestion, and then you rest. You should never just eat and then sit in the couch, right? Because that's energy that you're putting into your body. So that's the phase two, digestion, relaxed state, and keeping in mind the timing, right? You wanna understand that food is energy, and you want to eat energy before you're about to take action, and then you get to rest, right? So that's phase number two. Phase number three is your elimination. This is what they call bowel movements, where you go to the bathroom. And a quick tip that I would give you is liquid definitely helps, right? If you're finding that it's hard for you to go to the bathroom, you want to strategically maybe add a cup, 3 cups, 4 cups of liquid, right, to your daily consumption, so that you could actually eliminate and release it. Because if like when you go to the bathroom, it should be like a burger, like a patty. It should be soft like a patty. If it's like hard and it's like hurting you when you're going to the bathroom, that means that you're not consuming enough fiber, which comes from fruits and vegetables, and enough liquid, which fruits are heavy on, you know, on the liquid, right? But the fiber also, if you notice, start adding maybe 1 or 2 tablespoons of chia seed to maybe make it like a chia pudding. Put it in water, a little bit of sugar, some fruits. Let it give it maybe like an hour or two. It's gonna make like a pudding, and start eating that, and you're gonna see how your elimination is gonna be smoother. So you want to make sure you get the fiber, and also the second tip is you want to squat. So whenever you squat, it makes the evacuation easier. I know there was a saying that squatting makes the evacuation easier. So those are the two steps, right? Consuming liquid, fiber, right? Uh, Fiber, a lot of it comes from fruit, heavy on the fibers, but also something like the chia pudding I just told you about, very strong when it comes to that. And then squatting when you get on the toilet. If that's difficult for you, you could get a little bench on the toilet that is gonna help you lift up your feet, right? So you don't have to like squat on the toilet that you could slip or something like that, but you could just sit, but put a little bench where you could raise your feet up, and that's gonna make it easier for you to eliminate. Like if you look down and you got a big belly, that's backed up food in your stomach, right? That's why you focus on the elimination part. There's a lot of more strategies for these three. So to uh, summarize this: consumption, digestion, elimination. I give you the tips to follow. If you want to be a part of a community, comment below. I'll probably put the link below to join my community, because this is hard to do alone. You need a community of people that are going to uphold you to higher standards and higher goals. And that's why you should be a part of a community. You should not do this alone. The lone wolf gets eaten. And when you are a part of a team, especially following solid principles on healthy living, that's gonna lift everybody. If you hang around people that are smoking and drinking and doing all these bad habits, guess what? You're gonna be the next one. But if you hang around people consistently over time that are eating healthier, focusing on the consumption, elimination, digestion, eating whole roof plant-based foods, you're going to be thriving. It's going to be easy. Remember, misery loves company. So you have to intentionally surround yourself with people who are going to uplift you, right? So that's where the community aspect comes into play. That alone is going to change everything. You show up every single week and share your journey, your struggles, and your wins, and you hear everybody else struggles, journey, how they're following the principles and their wins, right? So that you don't feel like you're alone. And then you also get inspired by the success stories that you're going to be hearing every single week. Everybody having success stories. But also, you know that you're not alone, because, yes, there's going to be struggles, there's going to be setbacks. So, if you want to be a part of that community, click the link below. If you don't see it, drop a comment. And I'll see you on the next one. Daniel Paulino. Peace.